Imagine you're about to get married. You found the one. You are happy, your family is happy, your sister is happy for you. Or at least that is what you think. Now imagine 2 years into the marriage and you find out that your husband has been sleeping with your sister. I repeat, your husband has been sleeping with your sister. And when you go to your family for help, they tell you to keep quiet. This is not a movie plot. This is somebody's real life. And today, I want to tell that story. I'll call this woman Chioma. She got married young, not recklessly young, but young enough that she had not yet built much of her own. She did not have a degree, she did not have a job. She married a man, I'll call him Emeka, who told her she did not need to work. He said he would provide, that her job was the home. And she believed him, not because she was naive, but because that is what she was raised to believe. Her family was traditional, very traditional, the kind of home where the man leads and the woman follows without question. So Chioma followed. She cooked, she cleaned, she kept the house beautiful. She was a wife in the fullest sense of the word. But there was one thing she was struggling with. After 2 years of marriage, Chioma had not gotten pregnant. And in her family, that was not a private struggle. That was treated like a failure. Now let me introduce the sister. I'll call her Nkechi, younger than Chioma by about 4 years. Outgoing, playful, the kind of person who fills up a room when she walks in. Chioma loved her deeply. She would tell people, "My sister is my best friend." When Nkechi started visiting the house more often, Chioma welcomed it. She liked the company. The house could get lonely. Emeka worked long hours, and Chioma was already carrying the weight of not conceiving. So having a sister around felt like comfort. But over time, the visits started changing. Nkechi stopped coming to see Chioma. She started timing her visits for whenever Emeka was around. She would dress differently, her skirts got shorter, her dress is tighter, her laughs louder. She stayed later into the night if she didn't sleep over. And whenever Chioma and Emeka had a disagreement, even something small, Nkechi would take his side.
Ah, you're overreacting. He didn't even mean it like that.
Defending someone else's husband, your sister's husband, every single time, even when he was clearly in the wrong, that is a woman slowly positioning herself as an alternative, quietly, deliberately, while smiling in her sister's face. Now, I want to talk about Emeka directly because I noticed that in stories like this, people tend to focus all their energy on the other woman. But let us not skip past the man who started this. Emeka made vows. He stood before people who loved him and made a commitment. And when his wife, the woman who gave up her independence to build a life with him, was going through the most painful, vulnerable part of her life, struggling to conceive, blaming herself quietly every month, instead of standing beside her, he was sneaking her own sister into their house. He did not just betray Chioma, he chose the one person whose betrayal would cause the deepest possible wound. Her sister, the person she trusted most. That was not an accident. That was not weakness. That was a deliberate choice made by a man who knew exactly what he was doing. One evening, Chioma picks up Emeka's phone. Till date, she says she could not even explain why. It wasn't a habit of hers. Maybe it was that quiet feeling in your gut that something is wrong, even when you cannot name it. But what she found on that phone were messages between her sister and her husband. Not casual ones, not friendly ones, intimate ones. She's asleep. He was testing her sister about their meetups while Chioma was sleeping beside him. And the contact name he saved her under, Mon Amour, French for my love, her own sister, the sister she fed in her home, the sister she introduced proudly to her husband's friends, the sister she called her best friend, was doing bedmatics with her husband while she slept. Chioma waited, secretly followed up their plans for their next link up, and confronted them. Both of them in the same room in her house. She went in expecting denial, tears, shame, and apology, something that resembled guilt or remorse. But Nkechi sat there and said,
It was an accident.
"No, you did not accidentally sneaking your sister's husband into your room at night. You did not accidentally build months of messages, late night visits, and hidden intimacy. Every single time they chose to meet behind Chiama's back was a decision." And then Emeka said something that I think is the most maddening part of this story.
If you had given me a child, this would not happen.
He blamed her for his affair because she could not conceive, as if her body struggling with it was something that she chose, as if the pain she was already carrying privately every single month was not enough. He reached into her most tender, most painful part of her experience and used it as a justification for his cheating. That was cruelty dressed up as an excuse. So Chioma went to her family, her mother, her father, her aunties, the people who are supposed to be your line of protection when everything falls apart. She told them everything: the messages, the sneaking, what Emeka said, what Nkechi said. She went there expecting outrage. She expected someone to stand with her. Instead, she found out that they already knew, every single one of them. They had known for a while and said nothing. Now, you might be asking yourself why. Why would a family protect the person who destroyed their own daughter's marriage? The answer is money. Nkechi had been sending money home. Emeka's money, funneled through Nkechi, had been quietly taking care of the family. The father's rent, the mother's showy lifestyle, school fees for younger siblings. The same money Emeka was tight-fisted about with Chioma, he freely gave to Nkechi. So when Chioma came to them for support, they were not looking at a daughter who had been betrayed. They were looking at the situation through the lens of what they stood to lose if they stood for her. And they chose the money.
Don't destroy this family over a small issue.
It shock you, ba? Wait until you hear what the father said.
In the olden days, a man could marry two sisters. Even the Bible supports it.
He brought the Bible into it. Can you believe it? To justify his daughter sleeping with his other daughter's husband, he brought the Bible into it. Okay, so Chioma did not just lose her husband, she lost her entire support system in a single conversation. Her father chose tradition and convenience, her mother chose comfort, and her sister chose herself. Her husband chose the path of least resistance. Every person who was supposed to protect her looked her in the eye and turned away. But there was one person, just one, Chioma's aunt, her father's younger sister. When she heard what happened, she did not debate it. She did not sit on the fence. She did not talk about keeping the peace. She looked at her niece and said,
Come and stay with me. You'll not beg them for anything.
one person. In an entire family network, one person chose Chioma. She did not have much materially herself, but she gave her somewhere safe to land. And sometimes that is all a person needs to survive long enough to rebuild. Auntie, wherever you are, may God bless you for me. Now, here is the part of the story that people do not talk about enough. Very few people talk about what happens after you leave. Chioma left the marriage with nothing. No savings, no job history, no professional qualifications to fall back on. She had spent the years of her marriage being a full-time wife. And when that marriage ended, The world did not reward her for that. She had to start from the very bottom. She took cleaning jobs, she washed and cooked for other people. The same skills she had poured into her own home for free, she now had to use just to feed herself. And while she was doing that, quietly rebuilding her life with her aunt, she would open her phone and see Nkechi's post. Nkechi had moved into the house, Chioma's house. She was cooking in Chioma's kitchen, sleeping in Chioma's room, and posting about her life online. Happy couple photos, date nights, and somewhere in those captions, the line that I found most difficult to process when I heard the story: God's timing is always perfect. She credited God for a relationship she built on her own sister's pain. And there is one more thing. Nkechi is now pregnant, which means Chioma, who was abandoned partly because she could not conceive, now has to exist in a world where her sister is carrying a child for the man who made her feel less than a woman because of it. I'm not going to dress that up. That is one of the hardest things a person can be asked to carry. Let me be straightforward with you about what I think this story actually shows. This is not simply a cheating story. This is a story about what happens when the people around you decide their pain is inconvenient for them. Emeka was wrong, deeply wrong. He used his wife's vulnerability as an excuse for his own choices and showed her exactly who he was the moment things got difficult. Nkechi was calculated. She did not stumble into this. She positioned herself carefully over time and then moved into her sister's life the moment there was an opening. The parents made the transaction. They weighed their daughter's dignity against financial comfort and made their choice quietly, hoping she would eventually accept it. And the aunt showed us something important: that doing the right thing rarely requires resources, it just requires courage. Chioma is not a victim in the helpless sense of the word. She is someone who was felt by almost everyone around her and still found the strength to walk away with all her self respect intact. That is not a small thing, that is everything. Chioma, I know you're watching this. I hope sharing this story helps you heal even a little bit. I want you to know that the life you are building right now, even if it is slow, even if it is hard, even if it looks nothing like what you imagined, it is yours. Nobody can take credit for it. Nobody funded a true betrayal. Nobody built it on someone else's tears. And as for what they are showing the world online, the bliss they claim to have found, always remember this: happiness built on someone else's tears is as fickle as a flame in the windstorm. It looks bright from a distance, but it does not last. You made the right choice. You lost a lot, yes, but you didn't lose yourself. And that matters more than anything they chose to keep. Because the truth is, not every loss is something to mourn. Some losses are necessary. They clear the illusion so that you can finally see where you are standing on. Before I go, I want to say something to everyone in the comment section. There are real people connected to these stories, and words carry weight. So when you comment, please be respectful, be human about it. Also, if you have a story of your own that you've been carrying, something you feel needs to be heard, I want to give you a space to share it. You can send your story to my email, which you will find on the channel's homepage. There is no cost for this. I only ask that the stories are real. I will change the names and keep everything anonymous to protect your identity, but I'll make sure that the heart of your story is told. Now tell me what you think about Chioma's situation. Could you have walked away the way she did? With nothing, no income, no support, just your self-respect and your aunt in your corner? Drop your answer below. And if you know someone going through something like this, please send this video to them. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe and protect your peace.